some official Sonic Frontiers story info. I know. And from beloved Sonic comic writer Ian Flynn, who is helping write this game. He's a veteran of the Sonic franchise, having written literally hundreds of Sonic comics over the years. He did a written interview with IGN, and there's a lot to get from this. He doesn't go full spoiler or anything like that, but is able to give us some interesting fun bits to suckle on while we wait for Frontiers' holiday release. And you know what holidays means, right? Christmas. I've got another huge video I'm currently working on, but this just dropped, and I think it's super important to cover as it reassures a lot of things I've been seeing Sonic fans literally melting down about on Twitter. And Ian Flynn basically goes, whoa, just take it easy, man. So let's get right into it. I'll start reading and cut in to add relevant info and let you know what this all means for us man-baby fanboys. So let's roll the intro with a new track I just created. But quickly, you have 10 seconds to like and subscribe before your mom walks in and becomes instantly seduced by the world's most physically attractive raccoon. So now that you've saved your parents' relationship with just a couple taps, roll the intro.
You're amazing.
I might have to battle for my city. I'm too ready. And I'm left to right with us media.
So let's start with the interview. Mitchell Saltzman, the guy who did the previous Frontier story we covered, writes, throughout the month of June, we've revealed new Sonic Frontiers gameplay. We've interviewed the developers to get to the bottom of Sonic Frontiers' design goals and processes, but there's one aspect of Sonic's latest that we haven't touched upon, the story. And I've been so hyped on this story because it's definitely going in a less silly and whimsical direction than recent titles. Mitchell continues, for that, we turn to Ian Flynn, the writer of Sonic Frontiers and a man who is certainly no stranger to Sonic. Flynn has been writing for Sonic in some capacity ever since 2006, which is actually the same year the Sonic Show was founded. Touching everything from the classic Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comics, the rebooted IDW comics, the Sonic Encyclopedia, episodes of Sonic Boom, and various comics and scripts meant to help promote Sonic Forces, Sonic Origins, and more. He's even the host of the Bumblecast, a podcast focused on Sonic. Which, quick aside, everyone's been asking me,
Jaden, please start a podcast.
And the Sonic Show is actually known for its old podcast, and that's how I got started on the Sonic Show, so I will have an announcement for that soon. Needless to say, Flynn is a huge Sonic fan himself. Here's what he had to say about taking up the reins of writing the latest adventure of the Blue Blur. You've been intrinsically tied to the Sonic series for a long time now, whether through comics, TV, or games. What has it been like taking the reins of writing Sonic Frontiers' story compared to everything else you've worked on for the Blue Blur? It's been a very different experience to be sure. With other tie-in media, I'm the one to pitch the story, the characters, the themes, etc. With Sonic Frontiers, Sega provided the story, backstory, plot beats, usable characters, and so on. So it was a very different approach to telling a Sonic story than what I'm used to. And this is to be expected. He said on his podcast previously that if he were to write a game, it's not his story. They have to start in an A and get to a B. He just fills between. But honestly, with this new interview, it seems like he has even less freedom. So if the story is bad, his job is to make sure the dialogue and characters seem at least right. With Frontiers, the biggest part I'm actually worried about is the story, since we've seen so little, and I'm gonna be honest, Sonic Team hasn't made a good Sonic story in a long time. So they definitely have to prove themselves here. And while getting Ian Flynn on seems like a great move, it's overall meaningless if he's just forced to write dialogue for an awful story. We are almost certainly getting a full reveal of Sonic Frontiers on June 29th. I'm going to cover it in another video, but just trust me for now, because even if we aren't, like, the embargo ends then, so we definitely will get information. So I'd taken this information now, but I'd wait until then to make a judgment on the plot itself. And Flynn continues with, all that aside, it was a dream come true to work on a major Sonic title like this, and an incredible learning experience. I hope everyone enjoys what I was able to bring to the table. Can you give us a brief overview of what Sonic and his friends are up to in Frontiers? Sonic, Tails, and Amy embark for the Starfall Islands to investigate the disappearance of the Chaos Emeralds. Things take a turn for the dramatic immediately, and Sonic is left alone with a lot of questions. The story is his journey to uncover all the mysteries of the islands, rescue his friends, and discover how everything ties together. and just this point alone is the most story info we've gotten so far. We knew Sonic, Tails, and Amy enter a wormhole, but we had no clue it was investigating the disappearance of the Chaos Emeralds. And a lot of people are theorizing Infinite's return here, but I'm not so certain on that. It's definitely possible, but I assume they want to get as far away from forces as possible here. We know from the single frame of Sonic Frontiers prologue animation that we saw that the Master Emerald will also have some involvement in this. Judging by the red glow while Nux is sleeping, it's gonna go missing soon. But we get even more next. Mitchell writes, being an open zone game, Sonic Frontiers' story is told much differently than previous games. Can you talk about the challenges of writing a story for a non-linear game? The biggest question was how to pace out each story beat when the player has the freedoms to take the islands at their own pace. That had to be massaged and revised as the game structure took shape. It'll be interesting to see how it all comes together in the finished project. And that's going to be interesting too. There have been rumors of there being 4 islands, and also rumors of 7, but neither have been confirmed, so there's no reason to go off on them being right. I've seen a few people say,
Well, the other leak was from 4chan, so that makes this one more reliable.
but like, no? It's an anonymous message board. The site the leak comes from obviously has nothing to do with the validity of the leak. Same with Reddit leaks too. Just because one gets confirmed doesn't mean all of them get confirmed. Like duh! IGN continues, who is your favorite Sonic character to write for? Does it change from comics to video games? I try to find something fun in all the characters, but letting loose with Dr. Eggman is always a delight. We get to take his character in some interesting directions in Sonic Frontiers. And we've seen the Eggman logos on the platforms, so we knew his tech definitely had some involvement with this story, but he is confirmed to be in the story itself, which is interesting. I wonder what direction Sega's going with here, or if they're trying to attempt a Snyder cut of the Forces story, since that was so horribly executed. I'd be interested in seeing what the good version of that character is, or how they progressed him. Even Eggman's involvement, as I don't know if he's behind this, unrelated to the situation, or is a victim of it, but many fans' biggest problems around recent Sonic titles center around how the characters are depicted, like Tails and Forces, or how their dialogue's written when talking to one another. Having Ian Flynn here will almost certainly make those 2 aspects in particular better. So let's continue. Playing Sonic Frontiers, I got the feeling of a very lonely and mysterious atmosphere with the melancholy piano melodies, an island that's largely devoid of life, and a Sonic who starts the game separated from his friends. How does this feeling that emanates from the gameplay translate to the tone of the story? And can you talk a bit about writing for Sonic in this unique setting? Melancholy is a good word for the story overall. Sonic's indomitable spirit carries him throughout the adventure, and it's what allows him to help each of his friends as they tackle their own personal challenges. Someone else you encounter will have their very identity shaped by their interactions with Sonic, which isn't always a comfortable process. Is that the AI character we're talking about? Then there's the secret of the Starfall Islands themselves, and how the tragedies of the past have led to the adventure today. Sonic's never say die attitude is certainly put to the test. All that is to say that while it can feel very lonely, it never feels hopeless because you've got Sonic on your side. Yeah! This was sort of the mood of Unleashed, and the goofy, silly bits are probably the worst part of Unleashed's story. I'm very excited to see a more real story that isn't Sonic running around Candyland trying his hardest to conjure up what could be the dumbest thing he could possibly say next. And I know, it's become like a meme that I constantly compare Sonic games to Halo. I was so funny. But there really is a lot of parallels. Halo 3 ODST departed from the whimsical space sci-fi shooter to a more explorative mystery. It literally had a giant open map for the first time, and you'd find clues and get to mission points where there are smaller missions that were flashbacks to play and get an understanding of what happened. You were literally solving a mystery. There's so many parallels. IGN continues, what do you hope players get out of the story in Sonic Frontiers? For new players, I hope they enjoy their time with Sonic, get to know his friends, and are satisfied with the journey to uncover all the mysteries of the game. For veteran players, I hope they enjoy the individual character arcs and threads I tried to weave between Sonic Frontiers and the rest of the Sonic series. And that's one of the most interesting parts of this, is knowing that he's trying his best to put these little tie-ins to other Sonic games and universes. They'll likely be subtle, but I am interested in seeing how he finds a way to do this. Judging specifically by the way he's talking about it, I assume these will be more subtle connections through story consistencies and callbacks within dialogue. IGN continues, the Sonic fanbase is one of the most passionate fan bases across all of video games, and it seems like you've really taken to being an active part of it. From your podcast, The Bumblecast, where you often do fan Q&As, to literally writing a Sonic encyclopedia. Given all that, what does Sonic and its fan base mean to you? They're a constant source of inspiration. Their passion for the franchise is unquenchable. This word's been tainted by Sammy. Their creativity is boundless and loyalty unshakable. I actually agree. These are what I like about the fan base too. It's always thrilling and fulfilling when something I've contributed to gets embraced by the fandom. They serve as a constant reminder of where I came from and why I enjoyed being part of the Sonic series for so long. And they've steadily been joining the ranks of official contributors, helping to shape the future for the next generation, which is very exciting. A very nice and wise closing statement from Ian Flynn. I've never seen a community more dedicated and engaged than the Sonic community, and the constant love they give to even previous talents, despite wherever they are in their career now, is beyond insane, but in like a good way. You'd think the people they were looking up to were some Hall of Famer, when in reality, most of them are just small-scale actors, just out here working like everyone else. I think it's very exciting to see us Sonic fans, who are talented in our own unique skills, start collaborating and working with Sega, not as employees, but contracted out work. A very cool approach to getting your whole community on board. There is so much Frontiers news. I'm overwhelmed with it. I'm working on a big video right now, so double check your subs because often people are unsubbed, not even knowing it. And you don't want that, do you? Also, you know, it helps you, boy. Bell on! For real, I don't post enough to spam you, and that's it. Not gonna lie, been feeling a little depressed lately, but trying my best to work through it and get back to the video mindset. With all the info I've gotten, the next 2 videos are gonna be so dope. I have so much Frontiers news to talk about. I have Origin stuff to talk about, the development. Oh my god! So yeah, bell on, make sure you're subbed. And I didn't even say it yet, but drop a like. I didn't even say that. Why not like it, huh? Like the video. Can't believe I forgot that. Oh well, lots of love and peace. Peace!
You're amazing. Whoa, whoa, I got X, huh?